Boom. Pretty sure. Pretty sure that's go. What? What's up, Paul? What is up, Gina? What is up, people on the internet? It is October 22nd, 8 o'clock every other Wednesday. We have our At What Cost biweekly meeting, 26th consecutive. Let's see if Jenica pops in here. Layla said that she had something scheduled for tonight, but she'll catch it afterwards. And I haven't heard from Jake in a minute. Jake's MIA. We need to hit him up. Make sure he's good. What's up, Jenica?
Hello.
Good to see you. Did you work today?
Yes, I got off a little early because I open tomorrow at 4:30.
Oh, don't worry. No plans to stretch this out. I don't know if you saw the agenda, but it's a sick one pager. I saw. I've been to some meetings recently. I'll throw it in
Oh yeah.
the chat recently here. I've been to some meetings recently, and there's been some really sick like agendas that were like literally 10 words, and it was for like an
Oh.
hour long meeting, and I was like, oh, dude, I got some work to do. My 5 page agendas are no bueno, so I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's asking a lot.
I know. They got a little wordy, but like it was basically like you can just read them, and that's kind of silly because you just need like the idea of what it is that we're gonna talk about, and I think you're pretty covered on that. So, anyway, real quick, just an update on what we got going on the social media channels. Discord has gained a member. Shout out Paul for recruiting an East Coast homie from Atlanta. Good to see you. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Up to 181. It'd be cool if we can get to 200. Let's see if we can get some new people in here. Conversations are happening. We'll talk a little bit more in a second about some of the new channels with the new layout and stuff. But there's more stuff going on in the Discord server, and someone else's Discord server we just found out is getting nuked. So, what's up, Smiley? Someone else is losing their Discord server. The essential workers are going to close theirs down. So, if you guys want to take in strays strays from the essential workers Discord that are not necessarily local 8, I don't mind. I'm willing to have anybody in this channel. So just a heads up that's we could throw that out to them when they announce that they're going to be closing down over there. We can let them know they have a home here.
Why is theirs going down?
They're just using WhatsApp. They have a lot of different regional channels in WhatsApp now, and Discord it's just another thing to manage. So they're gonna use the Facebook page that they have going and these WhatsApp groups that they're building up that are like regionally sectored off. uh So yeah, anyways, heads up on that. Keep people coming into here. The link's here. It's in this document. I'll throw it in the chat. This is a good link to share with people that you're inviting into At What Cost, because it takes you to this page that I'll pull up on the screen now. It takes you to this page, which I don't know if you're watching on YouTube or not, but the loading screen for it is this sick UFCW parody logo for At What Cost. But takes you to this page where you can see links to all of our social media spaces that you can hang out, including the YouTube channel and Facebook page, Instagram page. And now I know it says Vimeo, but that's the closest thing to Venmo that this like site had for logos. But you can donate to the At What Cost campaign if you would like to participate financially in supporting At What Cost, the electoral slate for UFCW Local 8. you can click on that link and do so. All donations will help us print flyers and pay for gas to drive to where you are and brainwash you into supporting worker power from the bottom up. The Instagram page is popping off. Shout out to Jake. 203 followers over on Instagram. And if you want to follow there, go check it out. And Facebook, another member has joined the family. 128 people on Facebook. YouTube channel up 8 subscribers, 164. YouTube channel heads up, like YouTube Shorts. Been doing short on Monday and then kind of like building on those Tuesday through Friday. And that's been cool. Conversations are like starting to happen in the comments of those shorts. So thank you to everybody who's been commenting on that and giving me ideas and helping me think about things in a different way. There's been a lot of like, uh, you know, counter arguments brought up, like ideas that are counter to what I'm presenting, and that helps me think about it too in a different way and understand people's perspective that don't agree with me. So it's cool to engage in conversations over there, and it's like it's really quick, like each of those, it's crazy how fast 3 minutes goes by, but each of those are 3 minutes or less. So in a week it's 15 minutes worth of conversation about this kind of stuff like unionism. So check it out if it's something that you think you might be interested in. And more like what I think would be cooler is if you like add yourself to the conversation. And anybody that's in this channel right now, like, don't forget, this is completely open. Nobody owns any aspect of this, including that YouTube channel. So like, if you sent me, or if you said I would like to be a collaborator on the At What Cost channel, it would be thy will be done. Send me like a 30-second or a 3-minute video clip. It has to be 3 minutes or less to be a short. Or if you do like a half an hour episode of worker to worker, and you want to do it, if you want to do it yourself, like, don't feel like there's anybody here that has to be a part of it. Like, anybody that's in this group or a part of this group has as much ownership as anybody else. So feel free to utilize any of that stuff. Like, those things just exist under certain people's ownership because they were the first people to create them. But I have no problem. YouTube actually lets you add different people like as collaborators to the channel, and then they can like upload stuff to it. So if anybody would like to do that, it would be kind of cool if when you came to came to this YouTube Shorts page, it's kind of lame. I don't know how it picks like what picture of my face with my mouth open to put as this thumbnail, but it always is just me with my mouth wide open. But it would be cool if there was other faces of workers talking about stuff that they find important. And if there's anything that you want to collaborate on or discuss more about, in that regard, I would love to do it. I think that's a really engaging and interesting way to start these kinds of conversations, is in, obviously, short form video content is like pretty popular right now. And I, by zero means, think that I am the person that should be creating that. So please share your talent in that area if you have it. If anybody has any other platforms that they use and they want to make something At What Cost related, feel free to do so. Final reminder, nobody owns it. So, welcome aboard. It is yours. Yeah, let's roll. So, real quick, just because we have had some new faces come around, we've had some new people joining, we've had new conversations happening in some of the groups that I'm involved in outside of At What Cost. Some of the DSA groups that I've been working with, Workers Resist and in Shasta County specifically, are becoming aware of the activity that we've been involved in. And so they've been paying more attention to some of the stuff that we have going on. So just for people that are paying attention or haven't been involved for very long, we are a group of UFCW Local 8 union members. Everybody here in the chat right now is a UFCW member, and we've been getting involved in our union because we want to, and there's no, unfortunately, official like ways for us to do so. We do participate in every union activity that we can, but there's not really enough. And when we've tried to get involved in the sense of pushing forward ideas that we think would make us stronger and more militant fighting union, that's been very discouraged and shot down. So, at what cost kind of grew as a result of that, and through this group, we've been able to connect to the Essential Workers for Democracy and other union reformers across the country, and Teamsters, and IBEW, and the operating engineers out of Canada, and all kinds of workers in different unions all across the nation. And we're building towards a much bigger national movement centered around worker solidarity and worker power. So we are one little, like, dust mite in the tornado that is coming towards uh, unchecked billionaire rulers that have exploited us to the max. We are one speck in that storm, but that is the power of all of us working together. Is that we do become that unstoppable tornado. So it's cool to be doing that. What's up, John? It's good to see you, man. You're just people everywhere. It's cool. The mirrors are just shining. I see all the hearts blasting in. I hope that's you. It's cool to be a part of that, and it's neat to see where it's come now. When a lot of people that are in this chat now have been here since the very beginning of At What Cost. And just so that you guys know, because it's not something that we don't really intermingle them very much, but like what we're connected to through the fact that we have been building relationships with working people everywhere is truly a national movement, and actually an international movement, but definitely a national movement that's gaining a lot of steam and a lot of headway. And I know you've heard me talk about general strikes a lot. um, we're not the only ones talking about it, and we're definitely not the most famous and popular people talking about it. I don't know if you saw, but Sarah Nelson, the leader of the flight attendants, called for a general strike out on the picket line. And also the mayor of Chicago, who was given a speech on Saturday, called for a general strike, said it was time for us to have a general strike. So this idea of worker solidarity, worker power, building the strength and solidarity we need to take action, is truly centered around the reality of strike action, of withholding our labor. And it's not because we want to, it's because we have to. And we see this time and time again. And unfortunately, our union has been unresponsive in that regard, and we haven't got the support that we feel like we deserve. So, At What Cost has arisen in a response to that. Do we hate our union? Someone in the comments said it. It sounds like you hate unions one time, and I was like, I don't hate unions. I love unions, but there's something very, very wrong with some aspects of some unions. And I think that, when you talk to people who don't like unions and you hear their criticism of unions, you hear exactly what it is that we all feel. It's that our dues money goes to nothing, that they only help the people that are lazy and don't do any work. We never see our reps. Our shop stewards are non-existent, and if they do exist, they don't have any clue what their role is as a shop steward. Our contracts are weak, our retirement's weak, our jobs suck, we're understaffed, overworked. What's the point of a union? All that stuff. That is echoed across the nation. So what do? You organize. You get involved. You go to your meetings. Uh, I would challenge all of you to go to your meetings. I bet you're not. If you're hearing this message right now, there's a good chance that you may have been to a few meetings. But if you're hearing this message for the first time, there's a good chance that you've never been to a meeting. And I think you should. You should definitely go. You'll be shocked. There's low participation. But what that means is that if you get a group together, like we're doing here, and you do decide to get involved, it's not that hard to swing a majority, right? Like, everybody seems to be asleep at the wheel. And if nobody wants to pay attention, a group of active union members, lucky for people, What's up, Flame? Lucky for people, in Local 8, the at what cost slate, and unless another, who knows what might come, but unless somebody else shows up, it'll be us versus Jacques Laval and the current status quo. The intention is to make a lot of very serious positive change in favor of the membership. So it doesn't take convincing all 25,000 members, because the reality of the situation is that the union's done such a good job just beating everybody into submission that, like, nobody nobody has the force of will to participate in their union, and that's sad, and that's something that we're committed to fixing, which is part of the reason we're here, part of the reason we're doing this kind of stuff, and part of the reason we have built this group. So anybody's welcome to join, but just be aware of the fact that we are UFCW 8 members, very specifically committed to reform within UFCW Local 8. We used to call it revitalization because we didn't want to hurt their, like, we heard their feelings were their feelings were hurt because we were using the word reform. So we started using revitalization, but we're back to reform because they refused to change. But this is where it's happening. We have our meetings here bi-weekly. We play basketball every Friday night. We think meeting up in person is important. Down in Sacramento, Jake holds a beer hall meetup on Tuesdays. That's currently on hiatus, but once he gets back in action, that'll be on Tuesdays. And then every month we've been holding a poll, which we need to hold a poll again. Gina and Jenica, we should throw something up for November and have our November meetup. But everybody in the group is welcome to vote and suggest places. Do you guys have any ideas for where you want to go?
Yeah, this next one I think we're gonna just do at that Mexican restaurant that got voted out the last time because nobody showed up when they went to. They're supposed to go anyway, so
All
I
right,
think
let's
that's
do
where
it.
we're gonna.
What do you say?
I'll
No,
get more. I'll
no
let you know.
Becca's. Did they close or something?
No, they're still
Oh,
uh-uh still open.
Jenica said no Becca's.
Yeah, they're well. That's because that's where we went and they forgot us, and
Pool hall's
so
good. All right, we're doing
yep.
it.
Well,
The Mexican pool hall it is. So we'll get the event information up on all the social media. But the monthly meetup is third Sunday is when we've been doing that, and then the Discord's open 24/7. And the idea is just trying to have multiple places for a union member to come in contact with their union, and all of these things that we do are things that, quite frankly, like, this should exist. Like, this should be the official UFCW channel. You should be getting to listen to UFCW staff that are out fighting and organizing, like, for you, like, every day in their jobs. Instead, you have to listen to me. uh something's not right, all right? And so, but we as union members are involved in a democratic system where we have the ability to pull levers to impact change, and one of those is through union elections, and the other one is through the fact that, like, ultimately, like, we are the union. Like, this is our union. We can create this group and we can do this thing. We can talk shit on the people that we don't think are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We can offer assistance in ways we want to be helpful and think that things should go. They can deny that help if they want. All of this is within our rights as workers. All of these are things that we can do, and people don't know that. People don't realize that. And also, I want to be like, don't want to be, kind of a, like, call anybody out or whatever. But you gotta, like, kind of not be blue pilled and, like, get and open up your eyes to the fact that, like, this does require you to take action. Like, this unionism is like a verb. Like, you have to do something. It's we talked about, like, the solidarity gym. Like, you have to go in, you have to work out, you have to build the muscle, or else you're gonna be weak. And I think there's, like, a problem when we talk about, what the union's responsibility and accountability is in this. They're not setting us up with the tools to build that strength. Like they're leaving us flapping in the wind where we're having to go out and like find these resources ourselves. But, to our credit, we're doing that. And to their like massive disadvantage, that's gonna blow up in their faces because like what's happened is like they've created this like counter machine that I think is it's going to be bigger and more relentless than anything they've ever faced in a really long time. Paul in the chat said that unionism's a contact sport. That's a quote from Sean O'Brien, and it's true. He always says union's a contact sport. Buckle your damn chin straps, uh, and throws down the mic like in epic fashion. And it's true. It's true, and that has to be your mindset when you're going into this because you're fighting against like massive, massive, massive corporations with like as many dollars as there are stars. So all you have is the ability to turn off their machine by sitting on your hands and not producing value through your labor, and it's crazy because it sounds like both nothing and everything at the same time. It sounds like so simple and so scary at the same time. And so how do you overcome like that dynamic? And it's through solidarity. It's through building these connections. It's through, meeting with your union members and your coworkers and talking about the different job sites that you work at and how they all suck and they all have the same bad boss structure, the same understaffing problems, or the same lack of available safety equipment or tools that you need to successfully complete the job, or dug carts that have bad wheels, and no matter how many work orders you put in, you can't get the wheels fixed. Like that kind of bullshit. Where like if we're organized to the point where all of a sudden like 20 stores call out, the Doug departments all don't show up that day, and it's like fix the wheels. Guess what happens within 24 hours? I guarantee you, every wheel, brand spanking new. We have the power to do that kind of stuff, and the union should be helping us build that. But here we are. So with that, I want to kind of throw it out to everybody that's catching this message. I know a lot of people listen to these. Shout out to Jocelyn. I see you, sister. And we talk about the stuff that comes up in these meetings. And I want to start thinking, people to start thinking about where they fall in this group at what cost and how we can take this to the next level. And some people, like the people that are coming to these meetings and participating, they're obviously like, very active. They care a lot. They want to be leaders in affecting positive change, and they want to be a presence in the process. And I invite every person that has that feeling to come in and join, please. The more, the merrier. But not everybody has that time. Not everybody has uh that kind of energy. There's a lot of people that have a lot of stuff going on in life, and the last thing they can take on is like reforming a 25,000 member UFCW local, and that's totally understandable. So, no shade on the person that is like not willing to go chain themselves to the shopping carts and not move until we get a better contract. Like, I feel you. Life is hard. It's a lot. Everybody's making sacrifices. But I will say that if everybody makes a little sacrifice, nobody has to make a massive, massive sacrifice. So as we move forward as a group, think about where you fall in the spectrum. And I would like to just throw out a couple like soft labels that you can use that are kind of low pressure but very high benefit to the idea of what it is we're trying to build. And that's the idea of being a supporter or a volunteer. And they're two different things, but they both don't require very much out of you in terms of time, and definitely money or anything like that. But they do take a little bit of effort and some time. And supporters are obviously, I think there's everybody that we talk to out there, and anybody like chime in on this. Like, I know you guys experience this out in your stores. Maybe you don't, but when we talk to people about what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're working on, what it is that we're building, I feel like everybody is a supporter. they agree with what it is that we've got going on, and they say they support us 100%. Would that does that resonate with anybody else out there in terms of feedback they get regarding the effort that we're putting in here with this group?
I couldn't unmute there for a second. Um, Everybody wants to know more. That's the feedback I get. What are we going to what can we do to support you? What can we do to help? Not so much being in it. So that's I think is our biggest difficulty.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a huge challenge. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think being informational, educational is probably our best inroad for our best way to make inroads to new people, especially stores that don't know us. For people that we already know, it might be easier just to tell them like because they trust us that they ought to just take their problems and go to meetings, be active, or at least find other ways to help.
Yeah, I think the people that we know, like actually a really good point, and it's something that we've leveraged a lot uh for us early on is that it's mostly people that we work with directly, so the trust is there. And when you know the difference when you go into another store and you're talking to strangers. Danica says that people are interested and definitely want to help more and want to be heard. Nobody cares except for us. That's true. Smiley says it seems like people that are in the union and have been there for a long time, they've already got good contracts and kind of wave their hands off like there's no reason to bother with it, but that new people are interested. And I think that's a really strong point because the entry level of the job has gotten really, really bad. And the amount of time it takes for it to get good has gotten longer and longer. So what we're seeing and what I've noticed, especially through this last contract cycle, was a lot more younger multi-purpose clerks paying attention than ever before. And I think that's something that we should definitely leverage. I think there's a lot of energy to that. And I we brought this up at our meetings. There's people in this room that were there with us that I straight up asked the union, like, staff, if we're all in agreement that this is no longer a career, why aren't we just paying for college? Why don't we pay for some way for employees to get out of here? And the reality is that there's no interest in that, and they're not going to do it. But ultimately, like, we're at the grocery store, like we're at the point of food crossing hands to people. So this transaction is going to occur in some iteration, pretty essentially through who knows like what's going to happen, but this is going to be a pretty essential job. And so there's no reason for us to not, a make the benefits as good as possible. Education should be something that everybody has access to, and if they're not going to make it that way, then let's just put it all on our corporations to provide it to us until it becomes something that we all have access to. It If that's the path that they're going to force us to take, then so be it, I guess. But the younger people getting involved is a really big deal. There's a lot of high turnover in the job, and with that, we've seen like that like seniority is kind of rolled over into probably a lower average age in the store. And I think we can leverage that energy. I think those people are more willing to be active. What we have to do is convince them that there is a possibility of a career in this, if we can reestablish those respectable pay scales and those respectable benefits that make that worth it. And like Smiley said, uh, the people at the top, they've got it pretty good. And I can agree, like it's what sucks is that I can't leave because I couldn't take less. So as a topped out person, you're kind of trapped. They call it golden handcuffs sometimes, which means like you are stuck there because you couldn't afford a lower wage, and with leaving means starting over in most cases. So it's a different kind of trap. Uh, Lifers that are supporting the fight understand that their contracts are vastly different. I agree, and it is true, and there's a lot there. Basically, there's people on the entire all over the spectrum. Our goal is to make sure that people are paying attention when it matters the most, and having all of these resources and stuff available is a great way to make sure. And it happens in the chat. When people that are not active in here all the time, they pop in with questions, they utilize it as a resource because they know it's available. You guys as people on your shop floor have become assets that your store uses to get access to information that they feel that they can trust and use, because they know you're putting in the work to become educated and become a subject matter expert in these areas. So, that's a big deal. More and more people feeling empowered to do those things, the more they see results out of that, the more we turn that into direct action on the shop floor, like fighting grievances, or turning against like a bad boss and handling business in a cool way, like no violence policies being crossed and people getting terminated, doing cool stuff like that. It shows people that like workers do have power, that they do have the ability to control the work environment, always. And the more we realize that, the more we kind of unlock and the more, the funny thing is that we do have that power as individuals, but it becomes an unstoppable force collectively. So the more we talk about that, the more I think it kind of spreads. And this is always a place for people to plug into. And I'm glad we're all kind of on the same page that anybody's welcome to plug into it. But just know that if you're here, you got to be down with UFCW 8 flipping the switch and getting new leadership in, because that's kind of the next wave of what we're all about. Volunteers is going to be something kind of like the next step. That's going to be people that are more willing to participate in like workshop activities, or meetings or calls or events that we're doing out in person, like fundraising, or going out to other stores and helping spread like flyers and information. So people that do want to get more active but maybe don't want to do this kind of stuff like the meetings, think about who those people are that we know, and let's make sure we start talking about that and letting them know that there's going to be things that they can help us with on that level, which is kind of the next level. So just those two things: supporters and volunteers, people listening and watching on YouTube. I've got a couple of you in mind that I know are watching these meetings on the side, that have kind of been pushing you a little bit more to like, hey, like get a little more active. These are ways that you can do it. So we also have those sick at what cost buttons. Shout out to shop steward Kevin. He wears his essential workers for democracy button every day, proud day at work. That's another way to help spread the word, is to get some of those at what cost buttons, and we'll get some of those. Jake's got a bunch of them, those blue ones, like the one I got. Did you guys get some of those, any of those? Jenica, I can't remember if you guys got those sick blue ones, but they're cool. And it's the new logo that you guys are seeing everywhere, the AWC with the blue and the yellow. Check it out. But the more people see that, gives us an opportunity to talk about it. We can keep spreading that way. So you heard me talk about it a couple times, the at what cost slate. I've been mentioning it because we've got the flyers out. We've been talking about it with coworkers as we're kind of collecting information. That is the group of people that are going to be running for UFCW local office together against Jacques Laval and the incumbents in next year's union election. Now is the time to start asking people in the store if they've heard about the at what cost slate. If the answer is yes, ask if they support it. If the answer is no, let them know that it is a group of rank and file workers, which right off the gate, you got to let them know rank and file is us. It's working people down on the shop floor. Got to let them know the shop floor is your store. All these words are like words that people will become familiar with, I promise. Uh, but we're running for local office, a bunch of workers, and we've got links available and flyers to get signed up with QR codes so that you can stay up to date on any of the campaign information. So people who do sign up through the QR code or get the link directly are taken to a page that looks like this for people that are watching. Scroll down, just fill out your information. It's really easy, really quick. If you have autofill like turned on, everything just pops up for you like it always does. Scribble away a little signature here saying that you agree to us sending you messages and click sign. That gives us your information, and with that we will send you campaign flyers and text messages and reminders that the vote is coming up and the day of the vote and where you can vote. So all of that stuff is very important. So when you see us out in the store, and what we're doing out in the stores now is gathering up all that information. We need to get everybody's contact information so that we can make sure we can reach them when it's time to move in on the election. So it looks like we're farming. I'm out there talking to everybody, getting everybody's phone numbers, getting everybody to fill out these little cards. Shout out to the people that have filled them out already. I don't have any next to me. The ones I have are filled out, so I don't want to show anybody's phone numbers. Dude, that is an awesome campaign slogan. Shout out to Sister Erica, who came up with the slogan. Hopefully she gets some t-shirts ready for us. She's got a sweet slogan for us. Jacques Laval is our union president, and she came up with the slogan, rock out with Jacques out. I will wear that that shirt proudly. But shout out to her. Anyways, start talking to people about the fact that there's going to be some people running for union office, and if you can gather any information, contact information from them, get it, send them the link, or have them fill out one of the cards, and we will get it entered. And we're just list building, so we've got to get as many numbers as we can. It is super expensive to send mail, so unless you want to have to give thousands of dollars to us, help get us phone numbers and contact information. It's like worth its weight in gold, is what I'm learning right now. So we need it. Anyway, that's it for that. We'll be talking about that more, obviously, as time goes on. And with that, just let's wrap it up. We've got one more week in the winter clothing drive. Your boxes are in your break room. Anderson, do you have any clothes in your box? Please tell me yes. Children are freezing. That does not look like a yes face in the chat. That looks like an uncertain face in the chat.
I'd help those children.
Jenica says she's gonna have to check when she gets to work, as she's like frantically filling a bag with winter clothes. Thank you for your support. It would be sweet to get one more trunk full. We did deliver one trunk full, so we shared pictures in the chat. We were able to secure one trunk full of clothing and deliver it to Reciproca, which is a community center here in Reading. Very cool. Everything there is donated. It's like a thrift store. Everything is donated. Jake, what's up, bro? He made it. Everything is donated and everything is free. And I got to meet the lady, Miriam, who runs it, and heavily involved in the community. And I think we got plugged into a really good organization. So we can do a lot of good as union members here in town. And as we've talked about in prior meetings and multiple times, like there's a very obvious benefit to being an active, positive agent for good within your community, especially when it comes to potentially calling for labor action against your employer. You need the support of your friends and your neighbors, and you need their backs to not cross the strike line. And being out there doing good helps build the solidarity that like you need to hold the line in those fights. So yeah, dude. Jake came in to send us off. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else for us tonight. That's a wrap. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add to this party before we call it?
I have a question, but that's for offline.
Oh, sweet, yeah. Also, I have an idea. Real quick, I guess we can throw this one on camera. We've been kind of talking about it a lot, and there's on the some of the side channels where we're connected on like a grander UFCW scale. Uh, the lack of steward training, like structured steward training, is like it's everywhere. Like it's not just happening here. It would be pretty cool to put together like a stewards 101 workshop uh built by like us, like rank and file members, using some of the steward materials that are out there available publicly. Would anybody have any interest in either helping build something like that or attend that? I know we have at least one steward in the room right now.
So like kind of holding a class, like
Yeah.
maybe on Discord or YouTube or something like that, or Facebook.
Yes. Like actually training stewards ourselves.
I never got the training, but I just continuously read things and try to be in the know. So, like I said, I'm there if you need me.
I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I wonder if like we could get Gina or Lou Stewart to get some information, like another information packet that we can like kind of go through. That way we can maybe break it down for them to
Yeah,
understand.
like materials, right?
Yeah. So that you can kind of break it down and be like, oh, this is easier to train and also pass out because maybe they don't still have the same information.
Yeah.
That sounds like a yes.
I mean, I also never got any training. I just became a steward. I had to ask my president. I'm a local 5, not 8. I had to ask my president, "Is there stewards training?" And he
Wow.
basically had to say, let me get back to you on that, and also ask your rep when the time comes or whatever." So, very much not just you guys up in 8. It is a very bad problem. I mean, 70% of my stores so far that I called either didn't know who their steward was, or didn't know what a steward was, or they so, yeah. Dire straits. We have to start doing something.
So I don't know what a steward is. Maybe you guys can just explain it real quick as I try to just piece the information together.
And that's what this is for. No shame.
Yeah, 100%. So your shop steward in your store, it's an employee, like a coworker, a rank and file member in your store. In the UFCW, they're appointed by the union rep. It's a person that they pick. But in some unions, they're elected by the membership in the store. But they are like the first line of defense against the employer for the members in the store. So they're supposed to be like very knowledgeable on the contract, very familiar with store rules, policies, and procedures. Sometimes it's really hard for us to get a hold of our reps, and our reps are obviously trying to cover large territories and multiple shops. So having shop stewards in stores gives workers somebody that they can go to when they need help with that kind of stuff. Like if you noticed like a seniority issue on the schedule, like you would want to be able to go to your shop steward, bring that to their attention, so that you guys can then go talk to management and get it fixed. And then also like in a disciplinary situation, legally your shop steward is like allowed to be involved. They're protected to be in the room with you in the same way that your rep is. So you can you can say that you want your shop steward in the room with you for any type of disciplinary action as part of your wine garden rights, and and they can be in there and participate. So they can ask for information to help investigate for grievances. Like they can, if needing to see cameras to prove that you didn't do something is relevant, then your shop steward can be the person that does that in the store. Uh, the problem with us in the UFCW is we don't nobody knows who their stewards are. It's super inconsistent. Uh, Basically what happened was every time an old good steward like retired, it just rolled over into somebody that got picked but never trained, and then that probably happened at least one or two more times. And so we're in this situation where our shop stewards are just they've turned into people that have the cell phone number of the rep, and most people don't even know who their steward is, and most stewards don't even know what their role is in the store. And that's, no shade on any stewards. That's not their fault. It's part of the problem and part of the reason that we were talking about potentially doing this workshop where we would invite all stewards to come and gain knowledge that they can then take back to their stores and better be stewards of their union in their stores.
I have requested training every 3 months for 2 years. So at this point, I do not.
Wow.
And I have got to the point now where I go in and I read the contracts so that I know exactly what the contracts say. If somebody comes to me with a question, then I tell them, this is what the contract says. So that we can back it up and take a look at it. I will whip out the even the one that we currently have, which is not the official contract, but what we did vote on. I still have all that paperwork. I go back over it. When we were getting ready to strike, nobody was there to tell me how to put together a strike and how to take care of my store. So I just went back into my softball days and how I put together tournaments, and first thoughts were bathrooms, second thoughts were water, cooling stations, keeping my people moving, schedules. I just had to go back on different things that I had experience on, but nobody was there to tell me how to do any of that.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was here before the strike. I was losing my mind because I just encouraged everyone to vote yes, and then I realized there was no cavalry coming. There was nothing coming from the union to help me. My rep didn't show up for like a week. When he did, he didn't train anybody. He didn't tell anyone how it worked. The only reason like my store had an inkling of an idea is because we literally have an e-board member steward, and even he couldn't be asked to talk to more than like half the store.
Yeah, not cool.
It's
I
just,
did. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gina.
oh, I just said it's sad. It's sad that, we feel like we have to be out there alone, that our union isn't there for us to help us with these things. It's sad for our members because are we the best person out there to make sure that all of our team members are taken care of? Well, we don't have enough training, but I'm still out there fighting for them. I'm still trying to help them get into, um, well, my most recent win was a detox center. There's, you
Thank
just
you for
need some
doing
help.
that.
Yeah, it's important. It's important for all of us. I want somebody to do it for me, so I'm going to do it for somebody else.
Well, when you ask yourself if you're the best person, I will say that the answer is yes, because you're the only person. And I, again, I throw the invite out and highly encourage every person. And it's why I don't really take criticism, like straight direct criticism of the union from like what I'll call like normies, like very seriously anymore. Because the option to do something is there, the platform to do it on is here, and the choice to do it is yours. And if you continue to want to just bitch about it on Reddit all day, then so be it. And you can die on your sinking ship and cry the whole way down. But I'm going to go down fighting. I'm going to go down trying to make better. And I think the union, like I said earlier, I think it's going to backfire on them because they created a situation where we are feeling forced and obligated to get active, and so it's coming with this like really like salty taste of vengeance. That like they like there's hell to pay. Like they created this nightmare situation that we're in, and we're having to build our way out of it. And like that like again, because they are antagonistic against our efforts to do so, that creates a second enemy. A, a, they are creating a second enemy outside of our own company, which is already like a big enough monster for us to fight with our union on our side. To have our union against us in that fight is absolutely asinine. So, I think that's people are very irritated and agitated. This contract didn't help, and I highly encourage every person to if you don't want to become active, if you don't want to join the slate and run with us, then at least be a supporter or a volunteer and get involved and spread the links and spread the social media contacts and add your voice to the conversation. Say what you think sucks. Say what you think should be better, and know that you're part of a group of people that think that is the most important thing. But like Gina said, what's the point of holding a vote of where everybody wants to go if nobody's going to show up? We're going to play pool and eat Mexican food and drink beer, and you're all invited. It'll be on the third Sunday of November. Real quick before we call it again, sorry, getting a little rambly. Jake fell out again, dude. He's in and out like a fast food restaurant. I'll hit him up afterwards. He's he did confirm that he is alive though in the chat. So thanks, Jake, for doing that. We were worried about you, buddy. On Sunday, the 26th, Starbucks all over the nation is having a practice picket, like a national practice picket. All the Starbucks United workers, which if you want to talk about a badass union, imagine a bunch of rank and file baristas organizing on their own, creating their own union from the bottom up, and it becoming like it's going to be one of the largest unions when they finally get their contract recognized. They are holding a national picket event on the same day on Sunday, and the Starbucks in Dunnigan is participating. It's an hour from here. It's in between here and Sacramento. I was thinking about going down there, representing at what cost, and just standing with them on the picket line for their picket rally down there. So if I do decide to go, I will share any pictures that from the event, and if anybody wants to come with, just let me know, and that will force me to go. So my only out will be if I go alone, I might not. But if anybody wants to go, I would absolutely love to be down there, and I'll make the hour drive. You can just be stuck in the car listening to me talk about how important it is that we as workers wake up to our power as a class. And we'll be traveling on a freeway, so you cannot jump out. We'll be at too fast of speeds for you to change your mind and jump out of the car. But we can go stand in line with Starbucks. So hit me up if you want to do that. And with that, I think we're good to wrap it. Just hit an hour. Perfect timing. Wow, chef's kiss. Does anybody have anything they want to add? All right, that's a wrap. We're calling it. Next meeting will be not on October 22nd. It'll be on November 5th, 11/5 at 8 p.m. Be there, be square. See ya on Discord.
Have a nice night.
Or
Thank you.
YouTube. Yeah. Goodbye.